מוצאים אנשים כאלה שמתבטאים ברשתות החברתיות והולכים ומבצעים מעצרים גם בתוך העיר שכם, תכף נראה אותה.
If they'll only take care of the incitement without taking the source of the problem, then you'll just enlarge the problem.
I have a job to save my son from his friends, from social media, from himself.
With 1 million Palestinians now having access to the internet, and despite being under occupation, social media is the one place where they feel they have a voice.
من أمام المسجد الأقصى وبجانب قبة الصخرة. يا رب اجعل فلسطين سلاما وأمانا من أمام مسجد الأقصى جناجهات فلسطين المحتلة القدس. أنا اسمي جنى جهاد، عمري 9 سنين، بالصف الرابع. أنا بدأت أصور من سنة ونص، وإنه شفت ما في مصورين كثير، ويعني ما في حدا يغطي الأحداث. أنا بصور وبعمل تقاريري، بنشرها على النت على فيسبوكي. هم 5 مواقع تواصل اجتماعي مثل الفيسبوك والتويتر والسكايب والانستغرام وسناب شات واليوتيوب، وكمان كتير أشياء غيرهم. ويعني الانتفاضة الثالثة هي كلها تكنولوجيا حديثة، وكلها في المواقع التواصل الاجتماعي بنشروا فيها إنه خبر هيك صار وخبر هيك صار، إنه هي صارت يعني أساس بتعطي الأخبار وبتعطي إنه عشان تعرف كل إشي. أنا بعتبر حالي من صحفيين تاعون الانتفاضة الثالثة، لأني قاعدة يعني أنا عشت هالانتفاضة الثالثة وقاعدة بعيش فيها، يعني لأنه أنا قاعدة بتربى في هيك جو وقاعدة بعيش فيه، فكيف يعني بديش أكون من صحفيين اللي في الانتفاضة الثالثة قاعدين بصوروا وبغطوا وبيعملوا تقارير إخبارية وبنشروها لكل العالم. يناضلون من أجل دولتهم، يناضلون من أجل حياتهم. هنا قرية النبي صالح رفع علم فلسطين فيها. من قرية النبي صالح، جنى جهاد، فلسطين محتلة.
Israel's border police patrol the West Bank where the majority of attacks are taking place. They act on intelligence, set up checkpoints, investigate and arrest internet activists that post violent incitement online.
מוצאים אנשים כאלה שמתבטאים ברשתות החברתיות והולכים ומבצעים מעצרים גם בתוך העיר שכם, תכף נראה אותה, הולכים לחקירה ולאחר מכן מחליטים מה לעשות איתם על פי החלטה של בית משפט.
راني مالدي
אנחנו מחפשים את החבר'ה הצעירים שבדרך כלל אלה שאותם יוצאים לפיגועים האחרונים. אם יש לנו אחד כזה שנתפס כאן אחרי בדיקות שאנחנו עושים מול המחשב שלנו, אנחנו עוצרים אותו פה במקום ולוקחים אותו לחקירה בתחנת משטרה, וככה מסיימים את האירוע. אם יש לנו מידעים מודיעיניים מוקדמים שמקבלים על מישהו שצריך להגיע, אז אנחנו גם יודעים לתפוס אותו כאן, או בלילה ניגשים אליו הביתה ועוצרים אותו בבית שלו.
אני חוזר שנית, 854 224.
יפה מאוד. תן לו מפתחות של האוטו רק. לא, זה אפילו לא מתקרב לאינתיפאדה. אני בוגר 2 אינתיפאדות, וזה לא זה, זה אפילו לא מתקרב לזה. זה תופעה מקומית בלבד, לא תופעה עממית, מורחבת, כמו שיש הגדרה לאינתיפאדה.
As Israeli soldiers and police step up their presence in the West Bank, incidents of protesting and stone throwing are increasing, and so are the arrests. Security forces carry out raids in order to arrest people for terror offences. Since the start of the violence, hundreds of children have been arrested and interrogated for either inciting violence online or stone throwing. Some of these arrests have been carried out in the middle of the night, drawing criticism towards Israel's approach. Palestinian children arrested in the West Bank are brought here to Ofer military court. Between 500 and 700 Palestinian children each year are tried under military law, which carries harsher penalties than the Israeli legal system for incitement. It also has a 99% conviction rate. Over 60 children have been prosecuted for terror offences in the last 6 months. Outside the court, parents are desperate for news.
My son was active when the terrorist attack happened in France. In the social media, he wrote a lot of things. 3 days after, he was arrested for the same thing, that he was against occupation and against not respecting people and not have too much liberty to live. Social media, it's, you can say anything you want, and you should have the right to say anything if you are not making dangerous to anyone.
My son is 16 and a half years. Some soldiers says that they saw him throw some stones. I told him, you have gun. You can kill him anytime. He's a child. I have a job to save my son from his friends, from social media, from himself.
If there's a 13-year-old girl or boy, okay, he wants to stab. If you want, you can shoot her in the leg. Or as an officer, you are trained to take a knife from somebody. But shooting children or killing children, this is make the people more angry and more and more.
היום הכי קל לעצור מישהו בחשד של הסתה בפייסבוק. ההסתה עבירה ממש רחבה. משפט פה, משפט שם, אפשר לפרש לו גם לכאן וגם לכאן. מישהו מעביר אינפורמציה. אם מסתכלים על כך כזה הסתה, אז צריך גם לעצור את הרבה עיתונאים שהם מפרסמים את הוידאו האלה. אם זה נקרא הסתה. זה ממש קו קטן בין שני הדברים, בין הסתה לבין אינפורמציה.
Each one of us, he has many Israeli friends.
A lot, not many, a lot.
And all of them, they have Arabic friends. All of us, we are human. We can live all together with peace. Give us the peace. The media, especially Israeli media, make them afraid for us. And they didn't hear another media. They didn't hear our voice. They didn't know how we are thinking. Social media, it's very important if we used it in a good way. But in this situation, in this time, just we see the blood on the social media and what do you think when I see the blood? I smile? No. Or I cry or I'm angry. That's the point.
أمير ابن عمو إذا ممكن الاثنين ما عملوا شيء. الله يسعدك.
Orit Perlov is a social media analyst at the Institute of National Security Studies. She spends 8 to 14 hours a day monitoring Palestinian youth on social media platforms.
75% of the Palestinians who live in East Jerusalem lives under the poverty line. We have 40% of unemployment, 37% in West Bank, 50% in Gaza. All of those ingredients of the illness, what we see now, is one of the symptoms. The only place in the Middle East that you can hear those voices is only on social media. And that means that every idea that starts in Gaza, East Jerusalem, or West Bank, can virally travel without borders to every other place in the world. They go on social media, create a viral campaign. It moves in 140 characters into East Jerusalem, and then it's enough that 5 kids with knives can take the ideas of stabbing, of run-over campaign, and just grab a knife, grab a car, and move. So to my opinion, if they'll only take care of the incitement without taking of the source of the problem, which is the occupation, which is the poverty, which is the unemployment, then you'll just enlarge the problem. To take care of the tools, it's like giving, an Advil to a cancer.
We reached out to Facebook for their side of the story. In a statement, they said that the company does not tolerate hate speech and that they work quickly and aggressively to take down such content whenever they are made aware of it. But that's not enough for Mika, who is still waiting to hear back from the social media company regarding the civil action against them. If his request for social media platforms to monitor and remove inciting materials are met, a number of Palestinian internet activists may see their content taken down.
10 years ago, we didn't have Facebook. There hadn't been this level of incitement on the internet. If those 2 guys would have just been listening to what's going on in their neighborhood, they would have hopefully been positive members of society. Instead, they went out and they bought a gun and a knife. They got on a bus and they started shooting retired people. There's millions of Muslims who are good, values-based people, but a piece of that religion has gone wrong and it's gone viral, and social media has been a very, very big part of spreading that. So I'm in the process of setting up an organization called Stop Incitement, to recruit terror victims from around the world, opinion leaders from around the world, to rally them all behind this call to Facebook, YouTube, to have a zero tolerance policy for incitement to violence. If somebody stands up in a picture with a knife and says, stab somebody, that should not be on YouTube, and it should be down within a day.
Bahar's father lost the appeal, and the house was demolished 24 hours later.
كانت هذه غرفة البهاء الذي انتقل إلى رحمته تعالى. الهدم يعني هدم التاريخ، يعني هدم الذكريات، يعني هدم الأحلام، هدم الماضي، يعني هدم يعني اقتلاع الشجرة أصبح كله ركام. وأنا أعتقد أن العقوبات الجماعية هي تجعل من الشباب الفلسطيني وحتى الأطفال الذين نريد أن نبعدهم عن المقاومة يزدادون كراهية وحقدا على الإسرائيليين. يعني كلما اقتربنا خطوة نحو السلام كلما قامت إسرائيل بدفعنا عشرات الخطوات إلى الوراء. هذه أعمال فردية هي بدافع من الاحتلال نفسه. إجراءات الاحتلال هي التي تدفع الشباب لأن يقوموا بمثل هذه الحالات. وللعالم من هو الإرهابي؟
The Israel-Palestine conflict is now being fought on a new digital battlefield. As Israel looks for new ways to combat incitement, Palestinians worry that the larger consequences of Israel's actions could set a precedent that could infringe on their freedom of speech. Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs is calling on governments around the world to form a coalition that would force social media platforms to monitor, remove, and block users' material. The recent violence has opened up questions as to what constitutes incitement and is forcing social media platforms and governments to debate their roles in balancing freedom of speech and security.
Israel tried to take down Facebook pages, but social media works as a mutation. Every 10 pages that we close, another 100 are launched. You can kill almost everything not the internet. This is only one wave, and I guess if things won't change on the ground regarding their reality, another wave will come.